I made a video talking about how a group of immigrants were rounded up and sent to a prison in El Salvador without being given due process. And this person, as well as a lot of people, have said that due process only applies to U.S. citizens. It doesn't apply to non-citizens, people with green cards or immigrants who have no status whatsoever. But here's the thing. First of all, that's fundamentally wrong. That's not what the Constitution says. And second of all, there's a very good reason. And I'm sure there are far better legal scholarly articles out here, but if you just Google it, it will say the U.S. Constitution and Bill of Rights extend fundamental protections, including due process and equal protections, to all persons within the United States, not just citizens. Now again, the reason this is important, because there were a number of claims made about those people who were rounded up and deported. One, that they were immigrants, two, that they had criminal records, and three, that they were gang members. But the problem is, not all of these things were proven. For example, what if ICE had accidentally taken a U.S. citizen into custody during one of those raids? Well, there's no due process to prove that that person is a U.S. citizen. There's no one to oversee it. They could put them on a plane and send them to El Salvador and literally send a U.S. citizen to El Salvador. Now, that is one of the reasons for the protections that we give everyone due process, because everyone deserves the same right to be able to prove their case under fair standards in court. Then there's a claim being made that every one of these people who was taken and put on that plane and sent to that prison in El Salvador was a gang member. But again, there was no investigation, there was no hearing, there was no oversight into whether this is actually true. Somebody could have literally just said, like, I think that guy's a gang member, and then factually speaking, that person becomes a gang member, whether they were or not. Then thirdly, they were claimed to have all had criminal records. Originally, they said they all had U.S. criminal records. Now they're saying, well, no, they didn't all you have U.S. criminal records, but they did have criminal records in their original homeland. But here's the problem. Again, if there is no oversight, if no one is looking at this, we don't know if that is true. So based on this person's logic that you only get due process if you're a U.S. citizen, it's basically okay to deport U.S. citizens because they don't deserve due process because we don't think they're citizens, therefore we can just do whatever we want. But that is not how the U.S. Constitution reads, that's not how the court process works, that is not how the U.S. works. And one of the reasons is because we want to protect the rights of citizens, so we protect the rights of everyone, because otherwise there is no fundamental way to protect the rights of citizens.